Hello and welcome to the Career Compass program, which includes online learning sessions, podcasts, videos, webinars, white papers, and whiteboard videos, all specifically designed for NAVFAC. Please check the Career Compass Resource Center or CCRC often for updates and new content to support your learning. This content will assist with learning and development within the 20 non-technical competencies outlined in the Workforce Development Strategy. Today's topic is managing conflict by improving emotional intelligence in support of the conflict management competency. Throughout this video, you will see a paper-pencil icon on some slides, indicating a workbook activity. When you see this icon on the top left corner, this means I'll be asking you to write something in your workbook or refer to your workbook. If possible, download the workbook from the Career Compass Resource Center or CCRC before continuing with this course. However, if you're not able to, no worries. Just use any piece of paper and write your thoughts down on that. You can always transfer that to the workbook later. The objective of this video is to understand what emotional intelligence is and how you can grow yours in order to successfully manage conflict. In this video, we will discuss 4 things. 1. What is emotional intelligence? 2. Why is EI important in conflict management? 3. The components and framework of EI. And 4. How can you improve your EI? So first off, what is EI? Emotional intelligence, often called EI, refers to the ability to perceive, control, and evaluate emotions. The ability to express and control personal emotions is essential, but so is the ability to understand, interpret, and respond to the emotions of others. EI, then, is the combination of both skills, personal EI and social EI. You may have heard of the acronym EQ, which stands for Emotional Quotient. EQ is not the same as EI. Rather, EQ is a measurement of how well someone can apply EI. This is not something that can be easily measured, so we will stick to the term emotional intelligence or EI in this video. It's more important to be able to apply the concepts of emotional intelligence than to be able to put a numerical value on it. The strength of your emotional intelligence has a direct effect on the strength of your performance. EI is a key component of top performers in any industry. And there are several statistical advantages to strengthening your EI, with just a few examples listed here. According to the book Emotional Intelligence 2.0, 90% of top performers have high EI. Having high EI results in 95% increased effectiveness as a leader. And having a high EI even results in higher average annual compensation. The improvements and effects trickle down and will benefit you in many areas of your professional life. One of those areas is conflict management. So why is EI important in conflict management? Conflict in the workplace is normal and even expected. Conflict that is successfully managed can have positive outcomes, whereas unresolved conflict can lead to long-lasting negative effects. Regardless of what the conflict is about, chances are that emotions will get involved. That's not a bad thing, but if emotions become so heated that they begin to take over the conversation, this can impede meaningful progress. We may have a fight or flight response to escalating stress, and this is where emotional intelligence can take the starring role in de-escalating the situation. People with high emotional intelligence are empathetic and sensitive to the feelings of others. In fact, research shows that people with high emotional intelligence seek collaborative solutions when confronted with conflict. With a collaborative approach to conflict management, all parties come away from the conflict with a gain. Emotional intelligence gives us a cognitive anchor, a framework, and a way of thinking about how we move through the world and interact with other people. This offers us ways to increase our conflict management skills. There are basically 4 components to EI: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. Self-awareness is the ability to accurately self-assess. This applies to our emotional state in general as well as in the moment. It also refers to how confident we are in ourselves and our abilities. Emotional self-awareness is the ability to understand your own emotions and their effects on your performance. Please pause the video and think about yourself in terms of self-awareness. In your workbook, write down on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate yourself? Also, make some notes about why you rate yourself this way. What are your strengths and weaknesses in this area? Resume the video when you are ready. Self-management differs from awareness in that it really speaks to our ability to control our response to our environment. It shows up in our ability to exhibit self-control and also to be transparent. Transparency means living in a way that others can readily deduce your integrity and values. It means being authentic and open about your feelings. Self-management also refers to our ability to be flexible based on our environment to demonstrate both adaptability and initiative. Some other characteristics associated with self-management are emotional balance, achievement orientation, and a positive outlook. Those who are emotionally balanced find methods to manage their triggers and impulses, even when they are under stress. Achievement orientation means meeting and exceeding the set standards of excellence, being open to feedback, and looking for ways to make the processes effective and efficient. Keeping a positive outlook is important during a conflict. Even when you are in a disagreement, it's important to maintain a good attitude and to truly believe that a positive outcome is possible. Please pause the video and think about yourself in terms of self-awareness. In your workbook, write down on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate yourself? Also, make some notes about why you rate yourself this way. What are your strengths and weaknesses in this area? Resume the video when you are ready. Social awareness can most aptly be understood in terms of empathy, or how well we can understand other people's feelings and perspectives. Empathy is the building block of social awareness and social management. It is the ability to sense the emotions and understand the perspective according to the point of view of the others. It allows leaders to communicate without any barriers and relate to their team members. Collectively, social awareness can be applied to our ability to sense and understand a group of people. Our social awareness can really be observed in how service-oriented we are. Are our motivations centered on the interests of others, or are they primarily centered around our own selfish interests? Another skill associated with social awareness is organizational awareness. This means being aware of the emotions and the power relationships within the team. Please pause the video and think about yourself in terms of social awareness. In your workbook, write down on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate yourself? Also, make some notes about why you rate yourself this way. What are your strengths and weaknesses in this area? Resume the video when you are ready. Finally, let's talk about social management, often called relationship management. This refers to our ability to leverage our social awareness to be a catalyst for change. Being a change agent presents itself through our ability to inspire and develop others. Think mentorship and coaching, but also through our ability to manage conflict and drive collaboration. What are the characteristics or competencies associated with social management? They include influencing, coaching and mentoring, conflict management, teamwork, and inspirational leadership. Leaders who hold influence can gain support and keep their team engaged in a crisis. Coaching and mentoring is about creating a learning culture in the team. It involves a lot of feedback and supporting each other when problems arise. Managing conflict involves helping team members in tough situations, handling disagreements, and getting amicable solutions. It makes the team more focused toward the crisis resolution rather than on the conflict. Leaders with the ability to inspire and lead their team proactively get the job done. They are able to create a shared vision and lead the team through crisis. Please pause the video and think about yourself in terms of self-management. In your workbook, write down, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate yourself? Also, make some notes about why you rate yourself this way. What are your strengths and weaknesses in this area? Resume the video when you are ready. Now that you have rated yourself in all 4 quadrants of emotional intelligence, take some time to think about where you excel and where you might have some room for improvement. If you'd like, pause the video and make some notes on what areas you'd really like to improve in. Resume the video when you are ready. Continue watching the video to learn about an example of someone who demonstrated exceptional EI, as well as to learn tips on how to improve your emotional intelligence. What does high EI look like in a real-life example of conflict management? Nelson Mandela is often considered to be one of the most effective leaders of all time, and it is his exceptionally high emotional intelligence that helped him lead the transformation in South Africa, bringing about the end of apartheid. Nelson Mandela was exceptionally self-aware. After being released from wrongful imprisonment for 27 years, he realized that putting his anger on display would be counterproductive. Instead, he understood that by being calm and patient, and by exhibiting forgiveness and humor, he could inspire and lead others more successfully. The ability to deliberately shift attitudes was a result of his amazing self-management. Nelson Mandela, when released from prison, had the opportunity to leverage his position and experience to expand his law practice, which likely would have been highly lucrative personally. But Mandela felt called to make a difference in South Africa and had a deep belief in service over self. As a result, he was very committed to the end of apartheid and had an unprecedented willingness to partner with former adversaries. His ability to maximize social management can best be seen in his partnership with the last apartheid president, F.W. de Klerk. His leadership and commitment to peace enabled him to unite conflicting groups for an impact that changed South Africa. As a testament to his efforts, he and former President de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Nelson Mandela is an example of someone that embodied great emotional intelligence. Although some people may innately have stronger EI skills than others, everyone can work to increase theirs. Even if some of these traits don't come naturally to you, practice these 5 tips and you'll find that your EI will increase. Tip 1. Recognize what you're feeling. Pay closer attention to how you respond to situations that invoke a strong emotion. Not just in the workplace, but in your personal life as well, since those feelings will inevitably start to blend into the workplace. Identify the root cause of your emotions and why it makes you feel that way. Becoming more conscious of your own emotions can be achieved through meditation or some sort of mindfulness training. These mental exercises will allow you to better recognize and understand the emotions of others as well. Tip 2. Notice the gaps. We are all human and make mistakes. We don't always come across as we intend to. So when dealing with emotional situations, the gap between your intent and what is perceived can be magnified. Noticing the gap between your intent and the actual impact of perception is a strong characteristic of EI. Tip 3. Work on listening. Don't just listen, but actively listen. Listen for cues that indicate how someone feels or reacts to a situation. These cues can be both verbal and nonverbal, as human emotion is reflected strongly in body language. Similar to Tip 1, identifying the root cause of how someone may be feeling is important to be able to provide the best supportive response that recognizes and does not diminish their feelings. Tip 4. Respond. Don't react. We often react without thinking, and these reactions may not always be the best solution or can possibly worsen the situation. Rather, when faced with a difficult situation, take a breath, a step back, and make a rational decision that isn't driven by strong emotions. The key difference between responding and reacting is the act of mindfulness. Tip 5. Have empathy. Broadly, empathy is defined as the ability to understand and sympathize with the feelings of another. Empathy has two forms: emotional and cognitive. Emotional empathy are the feelings and emotions that are in response to others. Cognitive empathy is the ability to understand the cause of other people's emotions. Both types of empathy are valuable to the workplace for creating a friendlier and more inclusive team environment. Let's review. Be mindful of your thoughts and emotions to fully understand what you are feeling. Notice the gaps by recognizing the difference between the intent of your words and actions of their impact. Work on your listening skills by actively listening for emotional and even physical responses. Suppress your immediate gut reaction and think your response through before saying or doing something that could be counterproductive. Have empathy. Both emotional and cognitive empathy are critical for being a supportive leader and teammate. We covered a lot of information. As we wrap up, I'd like to encourage you to take some time in the next days to think about what you learned today. Is there something specific you can commit to start doing in order to improve your EI? What tips would you share with a coworker that may not have attended this course? There is a space in your workbook to jot down your thoughts. In order to receive credit for attending this course, be sure to follow the instructions on the screen, or simply scan in the QR code on your screen to generate the email message for you. Be sure to include your Navy email address in the body of your email message if you are using a personal device. Thank you again for watching this video. We hope that you learned useful and helpful information. If you have any questions, please contact your civilian training advocate or contact HQ's BD17 at NAVFAC HQ Total Force Development at Navy.mil.